How's everybody doing out there in the yard today? Happy Queerbomb! It is Queerbomb 2017. This is Shay next to me, one of our amazing signers with the Soileau signers. We have Shay and the Soileau shiners up here on stage with us tonight. And my name is Paul, and I want to welcome everybody to Queerbomb 16, moving on to 17. It's been 7 years, and we're all still here in different environments, different places and spaces, and every year we come together and do this, and every year the yard gets larger and more colorful and different, and young people start showing up, and many of us who are getting older start realizing we don't know who these young people are anymore. They're beautiful young kids running around being as gay as they can be. And it's really wonderful to see so many new faces in the yard and so many decorated people in the yard. And I'm going to be brief and just say that we're all here tonight to celebrate a corporate-free pride that doesn't have to answer to any sponsorship. We're here to show ourselves as we truly are in every shape, way, form, capacity, hair, do, shoe, I don't care what it is. Everyone's here in their most 100% pure self, or they're here discovering that self, and they're in a place to do that with friends and with crazy people who are going to show them the way. So we started this 7 years ago, and I just want to make a point to everyone in the yard that across the street here was the Pine Street station. And this is one of the most glorious motherships we ever had for Queerbomb, and it's gone, y'all. It's torn down, it's gone. And it's gone. And across the street over there where Chirps Charlie's used to be, and the food mart, it's gone, it's gone. And right over there where that large condo is staring at us, that was a yard that served a year or two for Queerbomb. It's gone. There's a condo there. Things are changing rapidly in Austin, Texas. Things are always changing rapidly within our community. And Queerbomb is here to serve as a space where all of us can meet together face to face, not on a computer, face to face together in a yard to discuss things, to look at tables inside, to learn about different avenues within our community that might speak to us personally, where we can learn more about ourselves and learn more about people in this community who we relate to. And that's why we're here, and that's why it's free, and that's why it's all ages, and that's why no corporation can tell us what to do today, everybody. So I want everybody to be real damn proud of yourself for coming out today. And I want everybody to take a minute to thank the goddess for not spitting water on our head right now. Thank you, goddess, for giving us this beautiful, strange landscape of skyway that we're looking at right now. It's some witchy shit up there in the sky, and it's beautiful. And if we get a little drizzle on our head, are you really catching all this I'm saying? I love this. If you get a little drizzle on our head, then you might as well roll with it. We've got some amazing speakers here for y'all this evening, and as soon as the speakers deliver to y'all some pearls of freaking wisdom, we're gonna hop onto a procession, that means your legs, and you're gonna take yourselves down the street, down 6th Street, up 7th Street, and back to this space. But before we get into all that, we got some shit to talk about up in this yard, about things that are going on in our community, things that are going on in our lives, things that are going on in this world. So I'd like to start the ball roll off with bringing two amazing people up to the stage right now. Are we ready to roll this out? I got Jeremy Teel. Oh, here comes some tinkle rain. If it just tinkles a bit, let it tinkle on you, y'all. Most of us haven't bathed in a while. I see blue over there. I see orange over there. Oh, everybody's running inside. Are we taking a break? How does this work? Do we just get peed on and keep talking, or? Oh, look at the sugar babies are running inside. I think we should. Oh, look, my notes are all washing away. What do y'all think? This is the plan. You want to let it pass for a second? We'll just see if the tinkle stops for a second. I know. You think the rain could have waited until we finished this damn rally, but it's going to keep on tutuing on us. Everybody's plowing their butts inside. So, well, majority of the yard. So, we have a choice here. We can stand in the rain with an electrical rod in my hand and keep talking, or we can. It looks like it's blowing. I hear a harmonica. That's a good thing. We could all go inside and talk in there. It's already. Hi, Luke. Hey, Berg. Yeah, I think it's gone. We have been peed upon. Everyone turn around and come back outside. Oh, yeah, they can hear me inside? I'm so sorry. All right, so we're gonna bring to the stage two wet, beautiful people, Stephen Tamayo and Jeremy Teel. Stephen is an HIV specialist. Jeremy is a P.O.C. infused activist who's here in the community to talk about what the hell's going on. So you two, you have one mic to fight over. The rain has graciously stopped. Everyone put your hands and legs together for these two amazing people.
Been down. Is this on? Hello? Can y'all hear me? Okay, I don't have my hearing aid in, so I can't hear. Ah. All right. Hi. My name is Grandma Steven. But during the day, my name is Steven, and I am a HIV testing specialist over at AIDS Services of Austin, and I'm also a volunteer at the Q Austin.
And this microphone's too tall for short people, but that's fine because short people are better than you. I am Jeremy Teel, and taking this off. I also work for AIDS Services of Austin, but I work at the Q Austin, which is right over north of campus. We do wonderful work out there. By the way, if you're inside because you got wet, you came to the wrong party. So you need to bring your asses right back out here. Come get wet. And come get loud because my phone might die and I want someone to help me pay for it. My queen.
I can take it off. Okay. All right, so you're probably wondering why this queen's standing up here talking to you. So I have a fact for you that I'd like to share. Austin has the 4th highest rate in HIV transmission. And you don't even want to know our rate for sexually transmitted infections. It's bad. So there are a plethora of agencies in Austin who aim to help the LGBT community with HIV/AIDS related issues. However, each agency can only do so much. Sometimes they are restricted by legislation, other times it is simply a lack of diverse staff. There are resources out there for our community, but more often than not, the community doesn't know that they exist. I lost my place. So, how can people take charge of their health if they do not have access to the information and resources about HIV? Accessing and paying for PrEP is a huge obstacle. Needle exchange is not legal in Texas. Texas does not have comprehensive sexual education. In 2015, HIV funding was cut from Planned Parenthood and hasn't increased elsewhere. As a young person, surprisingly, as a young person who does testing, mostly with young men who have sex with men, it never ceases to amaze me how much more education is needed, not only on HIV, but in sex in general. Let's talk about sex. I became sexually active at the age of 18, but I did not get my first HIV test until I was 22. For those first 2 years, I can totally account that to lack of knowledge on the topic. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know how risky it was. I didn't even know what PrEP was. It wasn't until I started my internship at the Q that I learned everything I now know about sex and HIV. As soon as I realized all the things I had been doing sexually and how risky they were for contraction of HIV, my ignorance turned into fear. What if I was diagnosed positive? What would I do? Who could I turn to talk about this? Why was it such a big deal? Stigma. That's why. Fear to talk about the unspeakable. That's why. Why are we so afraid to have these conversations? Sex has been around a long time. Most of us are probably here because of sex. And different people are into different things, but if it's outside of the social norm of what's considered acceptable, people don't like to talk about it. This is why we need opportunities like this for people to have discussions, and they can happen at an earlier age, so that when high school or college-age students become sexually active, they have the first steps readily available to keep themselves and their partners healthy. Why are we so scared to teach young people about how to put a condom on? Because they'll go out and they'll have sex. If they really want to, they're gonna go out and have sex, condom or no condom. And if these young people are out having sex, don't you think we should at least equip them with a tools kit of skills that they can use to keep themselves safe and healthy? We need more readily accessible materials in different languages to better serve the community. We need more education on safer sex, risk reduction, harm reduction, and HIV and STIs. We need more effort in getting people started and staying on PrEP. We need normalized and expanded testing so that those who are unable to come in during typical business hours are able to take charge of their health and know their status. We need to link all positive HIV individuals into care and help them with medical adherence in order to not only reach and maintain viral suppression. At the end of the day, we just need more.
Well, all right. We just need more, honey. I'm proud of you. You didn't have your bifocals on or nothing, girl. So, I did print this out, and I wanted to speak from the heart, but I couldn't because I got too excited, and I don't want to be here for all night. I know y'all want me up here all night, but I'm not going to do that. So, thanks, Stephen, for that. So, as Stephen said, Austin has a very interesting STI contraction rate rank in the United States. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. It's number 1. We are number 1 in the United States for STI contraction. And that's not a fun thing to have on our number 1 stamp. We're number 4, as he said, in the state of Texas, right behind our other sister cities for HIV positive diagnoses. And that's just unacceptable. So in an age where a person can find a way to build a motor-powered scooter on the internet, you would think that a person could go and look up some HIV and STI prevention tips. Wouldn't you think? We have resources that are everywhere in this city, and for some reason people don't seek them out. So I asked myself, what do I say to a crowd full of misrepresented, underrepresented, misunderstood, or just outright forgotten people? How do I talk to them about HIV and AIDS contraction rates being disproportionate for people of color? I asked myself that question not knowing the answer, but then I realized the answers are infinite. Because everyone in this crowd would need a different approach. They need a different language, and it would take way longer than the 5 minutes that I think I'm gonna try and take of y'all's time. So, some of this might not pertain to some of you all. But a definite majority will walk away with something, hopefully. As I said earlier, I was asked to talk about the disproportionate rate in which people of color are contracting HIV and AIDS, and how I feel I could best solve that issue. The truth is, again, I don't have an answer, but I think I have a solution, okay? Just a solution. Go with me here, okay? So the predictions right now are 1 in 2 black men and 1 in 4 Latino men who have sex with men will contract HIV in their lifetime. That is unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable, because I am one of those 2 black men. So if there were 2 black men up here, statistically one of us would just have HIV. Boom, that's it. That's all. That's nothing else. Unacceptable. So, I don't have a degree in anything. I know, I quit college hard. But I do have eyes, I have ears, I have a brain, I have a mouth, I have 2 hands, 2 feet, and a wonderful support group. So that last part, that whole support group, that whole I have me thing, that's what I want you to walk away with. What I want you to realize is that isn't affecting them. It's affecting you. And you are the one that can do something to change it. So, you are the person that has to wake up at the crack of dawn to call RBJ to get one of those 10 spots at the STI clinic, which is also unacceptable. You're the person who has to take off work early to make it to the queue before 6 on Monday and Tuesdays. Shameless plug. Shameless. It's affecting your daily life. It's affecting your mental health. It's affecting your partnerships. And it's affecting your sex life. And that's not good. We want your sex lives to be full of sex, full of fun sex, full of awesome sex. Right? Right? So, though it is a we, us, them, everybody problem, who in your world is it affecting? It's affecting you. So how about you do something about it? As a great mind once said, we is a lot of people. She said that. She said that. So I found the best way to spread awareness among people of color isn't by telling them to see a doctor or to go to a counselor or talk to a scholar. It's by making conversations with them on a level deeper than just the surface. These levels are reserved in our communities for cousins, close friends and family, who we call cousin, trusted educators, outsiders, who we trust, and great friends. I lost my place, y'all, sorry. I do. Sorry.
I love you!
Yay, I love you too. Oh yeah, we have to start talking about what we know to those who we know and who we love on those levels. So you're the key the whole time and you didn't know it. Now, okay, I'm gonna get to this part because this part I can talk about from my heart. I moved to this city from Dallas, Texas. Go ahead and boo if you need. But my wonderful city of Dallas, Texas, I could go get an STI test at the drop of a hat, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I can't do that here. That's a problem. What did I have to do when I found out that I had a rash somewhere? I had to wait until 7 o'clock one morning, and a person told me, it's Friday, honey, you're gonna have to wait until Monday. Well, damn. What am I supposed to do about that? So I decided that I was going to do something very, very queer. I sent a text message to a few of my friends, and we went and had brunch. And we went and had the best conversation about sex, mental health, friendship, love, dating. From that one brunch with 4 people, I have now touched with all of those people, over 100 queer black men living in the city of Austin through the wonderful organization that I started called Beyond Brother. Beyond Brother is a place where young, old, whatever age, queer black men can come and be themselves unapologetically. I want those kinds of spaces for all of you. And what I think we can do is one of us, like me, can start something like that. All you have to do is tell somebody what you know. And that person will go tell somebody something that they know. Before you know it, we got ourselves a community, people. I mean, how do you think this started? Do you think this just manifested? You pink wigs and rainbow skirts? No, this is somebody tried. Let me get back to my little majigger real quick, because I had a cute little ends in. Okay, so yeah, to think all of that happened because one guy sent out one text, I say all that to say, you can do something, even if it's just gathering your resources to do what you can to do some good. Invite one friend to do a little more good, so on and so forth. So, we don't do anything. You start doing something, and we will appreciate it. Thanks, Queerbomb.
That was Stephen and Jeremy, everybody. Give it up for those 2 beautiful fools. The sky has turned golden amber. The rain has stopped for a while. The goddess is being kind to us right now. So everybody just give a little glass up and a little tap tap to the floor to the wonderful goddess out there. But I see blue sky over there, amber, devil cloud above me, and trees behind me. So we're all okay here. Next up we have Paula Buls, who's a queer trans activist here in Austin, Texas. One of the most charming people I've met over here in the rocks on the left here. So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna let everyone slap their hands, slap their legs, and slap their mouths together for Paula frickin' Buls up in here.
Hello, Queerbomb! Okay, so my name is Paula Buls. I'm a queer trans activist, a queer psychotherapist, and a member of the Human Rights Commission for the City of Austin. That's the Human Rights Commission, not the Human Rights Campaign. Very different. Wow, holy fuck, what a year. Okay, right now I want to say we need Queerbomb. I almost fell off the stage. I'm moving the microphone to keep me safe. We need Queerbomb, and it almost didn't happen this year. We need people that will step up and will help make this happen. We cannot afford to lose Queerbomb. This is, if you want the only queer celebration to be the Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce corporate walk down Congress with a bazillion cars and 4,000 people from Apple, have at it, but otherwise, I need Queerbomb. We got some serious fucking shit going on this year. On January 22nd of this year, Monica Loera was the first transgender person in the United States to be murdered. And none of us found out about it because the police department misgendered her to the media. We didn't find out about it till after a week after she had been killed. Boo! Boo! On February 22nd, the city of Charlotte, North Carolina, passed a non-discrimination ordinance that guaranteed protection for public accommodations for trans people. In Austin, we passed that in 2004. Yeah! On March 23rd, the governor of North Carolina called a special session. 8 hours later, he was signing legislation that not only made it illegal for trans people to go to the bathroom, but it stripped away the ability of local ordinances to pass ordinances protecting anybody in the LGBT community. Boo! Fuck that! Mark my words, this is not about just trans people. This is a referendum on anybody that doesn't pass as white, cisgendered, heterosexual. It's a referendum against anybody who does not maintain gender and sexual norms that come out of the 1950s. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, boo! Patrick, the Lieutenant Governor of Texas, and Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, have all vowed that they're going to make that a priority in the upcoming Texas legislature. Like we don't have more important things to deal with in this city other than where I happen to need to go to the bathroom. If that bill passes, we're going to lose LGBT protections in Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, El Paso, and Austin. This is a time to take action. It's a time to educate our friends, our families, our allies. It's a time to register to vote. It's a time to get all of your friends and neighbors and relatives to vote. Let's vote these fuckers out of there. Woo! It's a time to write letters to editors. It's a time to stand up. It's a time to go to Target and thank them for being such wonderful people. It's a time to call your legislature and let them know that we will not be denied. We will not be denied access to public restrooms. We will not stand by while members of our trans and queer family are murdered and misgendered. I believe that we are in a watershed moment in our history, and that we will look back years from now and know that this was a turning point. I believe that we're going to prevail, but it may get a little bit ugly until it gets better. This is a time to take care of each other, hold each other safe, be in your communities. Love one another. Be out and be queer. Tonight, as we march, hold your head high and let your voices be jubilant. Be proud of who we are, for we are queer and we matter. Thank you.
Give it up for Paula, everybody! That's speaking from the heart right there, barely on the page about what we feel and what we do when we walk down those streets tonight. And we hold our heads up high in Austin, Texas. And we hold each other tight together in Austin, Texas. We are the Mordor of Austin, Texas. Of Texas. We are the Mordor of Texas. We are Austin, Texas. And when we walk down that street tonight, those are the most golden words that came out of a mouth so far. Is that we're here together to hold each other high and to keep our heads up high and to remember why we meet like this every year in this yard, whatever yard we can find, which gets smaller and smaller in this growing city. So remember who you're standing next to tonight. Get to know who you're standing next to tonight. Put a hand out and hold on to who you're standing next to tonight and march strong and with your chin up high, and then bring it back here and let it all loose as frickin' LGBTQIA XYZ as you can be tonight in this room. I'm bringing up Rockie Gonzalez is coming to the stage, a reproductive justice organizer and activist, and one hell of a dresser, ladies and gentle pigs out there. Rockie, give these kids some knowledge.
What is up, Bomba Queer? Thank you so much for having me here, to the organizers. I want to first and foremost thank and recognize this place, this land where we're standing. We are standing in occupied territory. This is indigenous land. This is Apache land. This is Mescalero land. This is Coahuiltecan land. This is Comanche land. And it's important that we recognize and honor and thank those spirits and those ancestors who held this place that's so beautiful that we're standing in today. So I want to say thanks for that. Secondly, I want to say thank you to the organizers for asking me to be here today and to share some words. I feel so humbled and excited to be here, and looking out on the crowd, I see so many amazing faces, and it makes me want to cry, but I won't do that. So thank you for being beautiful, and thank you for being here. Additionally, this land that we're standing in is also doubly occupied by all of us because cultural territory is important. And this East Austin, as we call it, is the cultural territory of Black and Chicano families that are still continually being displaced. So recognize those people, recognize those families, and as Paul was saying, there's condos here and capitalism is destroying us. So keep those things in your heart and make sure that as you enjoy this party, when you wake up tomorrow and you go back to work, that you continue to understand where it is that you live and what is the place that you occupy. So my name is Rockie. And I am here today as an ally, as a mother of a queer teen, as an accomplice. Thank you. And again, I'm here to give thanks. I didn't know what I was going to share with you today, and so I decided that I wanted to talk about Queerbomb, and so I want to share a story with you. Last year, my daughter turned 14, and she participated in a project sponsored by the Austin Gay and Lesbian Film Festival called Queer Youth Media, where queer youth come together to make film, to tell their own stories. It's really beautiful, so thanks to AGLIF and Austin School of Film for that. So she made this movie last summer, and when I saw the movie, I made a comment. I said, "Oh, nice lesbian movie that you made there." And she gave me this look like, "Oh, you're so 2005, Mom." And the comment that she made to me was that there's no such thing as lesbians anymore. We're all just fluid and queer, and it's all just open. Yes, right? Because the youth is saying that. And so on the one hand, I was really proud and excited, but then on the other hand, I thought, hey, you know, I have these neighbors and I have these friends and I have these community members who are a bit older, who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s, and they are lesbians. They fought for that identity, and it's important that we recognize their struggle. While it may not be the struggle of the next generation, the generation before us fought for that. And so it's important that we recognize their work because we are standing on their shoulders. And it's because of them that my daughter can say that. So to all of the elder queers here, to those of you who fought for that identity, I want to say thank you for making the world a better place for us and for our families. I'd like to remind us also that as my generation and the next generation come up, we need to remember that our identity politics and the things that we believe will one day no longer be the front line. We will no longer be the most radical because those kids are going to come up and we're going to have to learn their vocabulary, and we're going to have to learn about their struggle. So thank you to all of the families that are here bringing their children to this work, because intergenerational work is the only way that we can decolonize our community and move forward. So in my family and in my tradition, we honor something that we refer to as the life stages of 7. And excuse me, because my mouth is getting a bit dry. And so we say that the first 7 years of life, a child is sort of connected still to spirit world, and that's why children are so beautiful and pure, because they have the ability to see back and forth from our world to the spirit world, and that's up until the age of 7. And it's at 7 where they sort of become concretized in this world. And then the next 7 years are moving towards 14, where it's the age of responsibility and acceptance. And I wanted to say that Queerbomb is in its 7th year, and it's here to stay. So, I have so many things I want to say, so I'm going to try and keep it short, but the year that my daughter is in now, she's 15, and she's moving into that second life stage. And I think back to when I was a young queer person growing up in South Texas along the border, and how difficult it was for me, and how the whole world around me confirmed the shame that I held, how the whole world around me constantly told me that I was wrong. And it's because of you, and because of community, and because of things like Queerbomb that are standing up to capitalism and the objectification of our identities, that my daughter gets to be queer and out and have a community that's going to lift her up and support her and give her leadership. So thank you for that. And it's through that that I get to do the healing of myself. So thank you, because you're all a part of that. And finally, again, I'm here to give thanks to Queerbomb, to all of you in the community. And I want to say that moving forward, I would love to see Queerbomb be more than a party, because I think you know that it is. I think you know that we're all connected to it. And I think that if we center Black lives, because Black lives matter, and if we center the leadership of queer people of color, and if we center the leadership of trans people of color and trans people, then we can be a movement. And if the rest of us are willing to take a little bit of humble pie and take a step back and allow those people to take leadership and lead us forward, then we will have something that will last a lifetime, and the whole world will pay attention. And how awesome is that a queer people of color radical movement that is anti-capitalist was born here in the South, here in one of the most conservative places in the country, Texas. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Rockie Gonzalez, everybody. Rockie talked a lot about elders in the room and young people in the room, and Queerbomb continuing as a force of nature here in Austin, Texas. And inside that little tube over there, there's a table. Along the wall of tables, it's a Queerbomb table. And anyone in this yard today, tonight, can go to that table and they can sign up. And if you feel an urge to be a part of Queerbomb in 2017, then you can go over to that table. You can put your name down on that table. You can put your information down on that table. And you can start the next year's revolution of everyone in this yard that wants to see Queerbomb become what they needed to see, what they needed to be, to hold them up in this city, in this state of Texas, as they see fit next year. So, all night long there's going to be a table. Everybody sign up. Queerbomb is transitioning, as all of us are every freaking year in this community. So, take part in it, sign up for it, and be a voice within the community, and make it what you want it to be, because it's malleable, it's yours, it's the community's. So, speaking on that, our last speaker this evening before we roll out onto 6th Street and show these straight people how to have a good time is, this is Matt Korn. He's been one of the organizers of Queerbomb since day one, and he's a spiteful little son of a bitch. And he's here tonight to talk to you about, about what Matt Korn wants to talk about in terms of activism within the community and being a part of Queerbomb. So please put your hands, legs, and mouths together for Matt Korn. Queerbomb! Queerbomb! Oh, my sash went off already. I'll just have to wiggle it down. We'll put that on later. We'll put that. Hi, my name is Matt Korn, and I want to thank you all for being here. We're looking beautiful. We're looking awesome. We're going to have a fucking awesome event tonight. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Here we are again. The greatest, the most beautiful gathering of queers and freaks this town has to offer. And what are we here for? We're here to celebrate, to protest, to love, to fight, to get crazy in the streets, and be who we are without reservations and without apology. And it is beautiful, just look at us. We're proud of who we are, but know that we can change for the better. That the world can change for the better. I don't have a lot of answers, so tonight I'm going to ask a lot of questions to get us thinking about how we as human beings, as Austinites, as people of this world, can begin to decide how we're going to change and what kind of a world we actually want to live in. Because this one's pretty fucked up. I spent a lot of years as an activist, fighting in many movements and building relationships with other people who really care about the problems in this world, like the people here gathered here today. I've marched for immigrant rights and LGBT rights, to protect a woman's right to control her own body. I've marched against the death penalty and racial injustice with workers on picket lines and against U.S. wars overseas, and I get a little emotional when I talk about it. I've demanded justice for people of color murdered by police and for access to basic social services and health care. I've never pretended to know what it's like to live all of these experiences, but I've always known that support and solidarity are essential for everyone struggling for a better life. Solidarity! I've been here in Austin for 16 years, and in that time I've seen a city rise to the pinnacle of all that is valued by the decent people in society. We know what we think of the decent people in society. We're living the American dream, aren't we? We're attracting business and investment, cutting-edge technology. We're a tech town, and the elites of the world converge here to share ideas, develop the economy, and build spaces where they can thrive. Where they can thrive. Like those condos over there and the new hotel going up back there where we used to have this rally. But what about us? Yes, I know. We're celebrating unity here, and, you know, I shouldn't be talking about us and them. But unity is about peace. And without justice, there can be no peace. Without equality, there can be no justice. And without social equality, and without economic equality, we cannot have real equality. We need to talk about the lives we have to live every single day. And in a city with obscene wealth flowing in, billions and billions of dollars a year, what happens to the rest of us, and what about our dreams? What supposedly made this city so great in the past? We've always celebrated Austin's weirdness. We've always claimed to celebrate weirdness and diversity. But what does weird even mean? Did that ever mean anything? Have diversity and weirdness ever been celebrated if the weird have continued to fall deeper into crisis and homelessness? How can you follow any dream on a minimum wage? How can you be weird on even double the minimum wage? Is diversity being celebrated if being diverse means state-protected discrimination? How can you be weird when your employer can fire you for any reason they feel like? Is diversity being celebrated when being transgender and queer and diverse means you won't be able to afford to pay the ever-rising rents in this city? How can you be weird when rents go up year to year and it takes more than double the minimum wage to afford a roof over your head? More than that, is diversity being celebrated If the diverse continue to face homelessness and continue to have less access to basic benefits, access to food and medicine, how can you be weird when homophobia still exists, when transphobia still exists, when racism still exists, when sexism still exists, when people who spout bigotry and lies dominate politics and could give fuck all about us and our safety and security? How can we be weird then? How can we say diversity is being celebrated when transgender people and women and gay men get beaten in the streets in this city? When an unarmed, naked, black child is shot by police and his killers go free? How can we say we celebrate diversity when our politicians are more concerned with attracting investment than keeping the city affordable for its citizens? When they don't demand fair housing, don't demand health care. The goals of this city and state have not been in the interests of workers, women, queers, people of color, people of different religions. And that adds up to the vast majority of us. That is who we are. They have never intended to keep us weird. They have intended to help the rich get richer, even if it means at the expense of the most vulnerable in our community. And we're here to say that needs to change. So how do we make that change happen? We're supposed to shop at local businesses that pay far below a minimum wage or a living wage, where bosses can run their fiefdoms with impunity. And we're supposed to celebrate our progress. We have marriage! We can get married now, everybody! There could be rainbows on a sidewalk. You could walk on a rainbow down the sidewalk. I hate to say it, because I do support our right to get married, just like we should have all equal rights with other people. But the gay and lesbian movement, and I choose those words very carefully, took a hiatus after the shining assimilating right of marriage was granted upon us from on high. What good is marriage if people in our community will more likely face prison time and homelessness than find a career that provides them with basic necessities? Yeah! Our Fear Our March came to a halt when the wedding bells rang. Wedding bells that only a few of us have ever even wanted to hear. Since then, when was the last time you heard about fighting queer discrimination in the workplace? When did you last hear about economic justice and the fact that a majority of transgender persons are still unemployed or underemployed? Who leads the fight to preserve what few trans-inclusive anti-discrimination ordinances we have, like was talked about before, like we have here in Austin, and fight the onslaught of the most bigoted legislation we've seen in decades? Who's leading that fight? Is it HRC? Is it HRC? Is it the other mainstream organizations? No, they're too busy raising money to get our false friends elected. It's not HRC that's leading the fight against trans discrimination, it's the NAACP, and that's a beautiful thing. Because they understand more about solidarity than any so-called LGBT organization operating nationally today. They understand that an injury to one is an injury to all. An injury to one is an injury to all. That's what solidarity means. It means standing together and fighting for ourselves and all oppressed people. It means no one gets left out. So we live in a city with a veneer of wealth and power that claims to be diverse, and national organizations like the HRC that leave many behind. It has left many of us without leadership, while our community, in all of its diversity, continues to face discrimination, homelessness, and death. So what can we do? Well, a lot of ideas were thrown out tonight, and there's a lot of organizations in there that want your help in turning the tide in these things and fighting back. Getting back on the offensive. I can tell you one thing. Whatever we do, we must do it ourselves. We have to do it ourselves. The queers,
as people of many genders, as people of many races and backgrounds and beliefs. It must come from listening with respect and sympathy to our allies and our friends, and finding empathy where we can, and knowing the difference between those two things. It can be as simple as standing here today, side by side, as one community, looking beautiful, and with all of our differences, and celebrating those differences. That's what solidarity looks like. It's what it looks like. I just have a few more words, because I can't wait to get marching. We come together here because we know that we are stronger together than we are apart. Does that mean unity all the time and on every question? No. It would be a scary prospect if it did. Diversity isn't just a happy, hippie, feel-good thing. It's essential for the free existence of every one of us. We celebrate our differences and we respect our differences. There's no queer, there's no freak, there's not freedom without difference. But it means respect. It means acceptance. It means embracing change. It means loving our differences. It means never accepting progress when that progress leaves any of us out. We must listen to each other and speak a language others can understand. Be as willing to accept love as we are to give it. We have enough enemies without making enemies of each other. Then we should never be afraid to demand the respect that we deserve. We came together for the first time 6 years ago because we wanted pride to mean something. We wanted the word pride to mean something. We wanted it to be more than a token seat at the table. We wanted it to be more than a place to pretend that we're equal. We wanted it to be more than the idea that individual economic success means freedom and equality. We understand that having pride is as much about knowing why you're awesome as it is about knowing what stands in your way. We're not going to live free and equal by electing somebody to do it for us, or by supplicating ourselves before power. We need to take our own power. We'll get there by asserting our own power, by remembering our movement didn't start with a gala fundraiser, it started with a fucking riot. Stonewall was a riot. Stonewall was a riot. We remember and honor Stonewall by carrying on its legacy, by refusing to accept the status quo, by making our power felt by whatever means necessary. We do that tonight by the act of being ourselves in front of the straight world. We must carry it on by being a queer bombshell, dropped into the middle of this fucked up world and demanding something different. We won't accept defeat and will never compromise on each other's rights and dignity. We are Queerbomb today and every single fucking day. Now let's march down the street and show them what queer fucking looks like. Let's hear it, everybody. Thank you.
You can leave it there. Give it up for Matt Korn, everybody. She had a mouth on her. She had a mouth on her. We're getting ready to do a procession down the street, down 6th Street, back up 7th Street here to Fair Market. I want anyone who has special needs, anyone who needs to jump in a pedicab to make their way down the gate this way. There might be some pedicabs in the alleyway through the back exit. But anyone who has special needs and who needs to find a pedicab immediately before the procession, make your way through this front gate, find yourself a pedicab, find people who can help you get to that pedicab. They are waiting for you around both corners of the yard. I need everybody to please understand that as we process down these streets, the police of Austin, Texas are here to give us a protective bubble. They've been doing it for 7 years, kindly, assuredly, and helpfully, and we have never, ever had a problem on the streets of Austin with this procession of Queerbomb in the 7 years that we've been doing it. Thank you, Austin Police, for being there on our side. Most of them are queens when you look out there on the street. Thank you for the queens of the Austin Police Department. Please do not stop underneath any of the overpasses. I know it's a nice acoustic, but keep moving forward. And I want everybody in the yard, before you start filing into the house, every year since we started Queerbomb, we've had the minor mishaps performing with us in the procession every year. How many of you out there know the Minor Mishap Marching Band? They've been an integral part of this procession for 7 fucking years. They have shown up and been the heart. And tonight, we are dedicating this procession of Queerbomb to a woman named Leah Durrett, who we lost this year, who was a member of Minor Mishaps, and recently we lost her from this world. And she was one of the most beautiful, colorful, flamboyant, wild children of that band. So tonight we march for Leah. We march strong and loud. We don't think that it's a time to be quiet or a moment of silence for someone who lives so loudly with an instrument and so much color strapped onto their aura. So we want to scream as loud as we can for Leah tonight, and we want to march as long and loud as we can for Leah tonight. And for any of you out there who have someone that you lost this year, jump onto that wagon of Leah's, hold on tight to that tail, and bring it down the streets of Austin, Texas. Bring it all the way down 6th Street, back up 7th Street, back here to Fair Market, where we're going to be all up in here till 2 a.m. doing everything we can to let these freaking unicorns jump out of our buttholes tonight. So if everyone can start to make your way through that building, onto the street, through the building, onto the street. And if you need a pedicab, make your way down to the gate this way or up to the alley that way. We're making our way through the streets of Austin, Texas. Scream as loud as you can. This is Queerbomb 2016. Thank y'all for showing up, and keep it as loud as you can for the rest of the evening. Do it up, ladies!